What did a crush do to make you lose interest immediately? She was going to a party, and I said you seem pretty and enthusiastic about going. She replied with don't use big words. 9-year-olds are sensitive to that sort of thing. Not really a crush, but a few weeks ago, I was at the dog park and a guy came up to flirt with me. I was mildly interested until he started telling this bizarre story about how he used to have a rabbit, but got tired of it and threw it out into the backyard for his Rottweiler. Then he kept looking at me expectantly, as if I were supposed to join in with my own story of murdering a house pet. I just stood there blinking stupidly until he said, "So, you wanna ditch your dog and go see a movie with me?" "Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I used to have a rabbit." AWW. What happened to it? Oh, it's gone. Oh, did you give it away? Nah, I fed it to my dog lol. What, how about I call you sometime? Started to like me back. What? She likes me? The duck is wrong with her? My freshman year of college, I had a huge crush on a guy in my intro programming class. We sat beside each other, and while I could complete the exercises easily, he was visibly struggling. So I offered to tutor him after hours. He got upset that a girl was better at computer stuff than him and dropped the class. I'm sure dropping the class made him better at computers. It's not about being good at X, it's about being better than someone at X. This is an interesting story because the guy double ducked up. He could have improved his computer skills and dated a girl in the process. It's tragic, actually. Introduce me to her son. She and I were both 14 and her son was about a year old at the time. Dude, at 14 I'd be stoked. If she has a kid, you know she'll have X. At 14, I wasn't scared of crazy places to put my PP either. Fools rush and where angels fear to tread. We were making out, and he burped into my mouth. Yep, that will do it. So what is proper etiquette when making out and feel a burp coming? Well, when I was dating, the proper etiquette was to go for the neck or something and then try to let it out as slowly and quietly as possible. Now that I'm married, the proper etiquette is to burp on my wife as loudly as possible. It's too late. She's stuck with me. She was a lesbian and I'm a guy, so I couldn't be a lesbian. Not with that attitude. I had a crush on this guy for so long. He had a beard, check. Loved coffee and beer, check. And check. And could make me laugh, mega check. He moved out of the state for a short while for work, but when he came back, I met him at a bar for his returning home party. Everything was going fine for the majority of the night, lots of flirting on his end. But he kept drinking, and drinking, and drinking some more. He ended up getting poop-faced, and one of his friends asked me if I could give him a lift home. I said sure, why not? Here's where the problems started. Homeboy wouldn't tell me where he lived, for one. In his defense, he may have just been super drunk and incoherent, but it was still frustrating. I was house sitting for my grandmother at the time, so I told him he was welcome to crash in her guest bedroom and I'd give him a ride home the next morning. We get back to my grandmother's house, I pull into the garage, and without skipping a beat, my crush opens the door and just vomits all over the garage floor. Better than the kitchen floor, but it was spreading, and by the time he was all done, it had reached the walls. So I took him inside and gave him a glass of water and showed him where the bathroom was. By this time, it was at least 3 AM, so I was exhausted. I passed out in my grandmother's bedroom to the sound of my crush. He was slowly losing that title, spewing. Fast forward to 6 AM. I wake up to my crush standing right next to the bed staring at me, asking where he was. I explained and took him down to the guest bedroom. He had been sleeping on the bathroom floor. When I went back upstairs to turn the light off in the bathroom, the smell hit me poop. The dude left a giant pile of unflushed poop mixed in with vomit. I gagged, flushed it, and went back to bed. After I realized I had lost all attraction to this guy, I gave him a ride home. Didn't get an apology, but I did get a drool-filled, awkward kiss that I did not want. Then I came back and spent 2 hours cleaning up vomit. It was Christmas Eve, too. The end. Kicked my cat and said I hate cats. Well, get the duck out of my house then. Was on a picnic. He caught a fly with his hand. I must have looked impressed, so he followed it by throwing a shoe and hitting a nearby seagull. Weirdest ducking way to try to woo a girl. Girl told me she only finds black guys and Asians attractive. A lot of people mistaken me for being Asian. I'm Mexican. When I was in the 3rd grade, I had a huge crush on this guy named Robert. We went to Skateland for a school field trip, and I asked if I could buy him a soda. He said no. I was hurt, as any 8-year-old girl would be. But a half hour later, I saw he had bought this girl Ali a soda. I'm pretty sure I ran into the bathroom and cried. Anyways, I found my elementary school diary a few months ago and saw an entry I wrote from this night. All it said was Robert loves Ali. He doesn't love me. I'm heartbroken. Got asked out by a cute guy wearing a leather motorcycle jacket, probably mid-20s, while I was waitressing. He was taking his dad out to lunch at the time. I thought, oh how nice, tough and sensitive. He picked me up for coffee, showed up with a Hannah Montana t-shirt, spent the first 20 minutes talking about how he was homeschooled and loved that he still lived with his parents and how hanging out with his mom was better than going to college. Damn, did I read that vibe wrong? Played games. Games as in acting hot/cold. Instant turn off. Were they yes and then no? More like in/out. No. I'm pretty sure it was more up and down. I know it was wrong, then right, then black and white. In the 6th grade I tied our shoelaces together to be cute and to have an excuse to be close to her. Eventually when she had to leave, we discovered I tied the knot too tight and she ended up chewing through one of the laces to get out. She looked so stupid doing it that I just stopped liking her. Your relationship with the class pet hamster would never have worked anyway. I've told this story before, but he knocked out his teeth, said he's the Antichrist, and asked me to join his harem. I wish I were making that up. It wasn't our first date, but our first date at a restaurant. He was intolerably rude to the waiter. The waiter never even did anything wrong. He was just treating the poor guy like a worthless slave. Left date at restaurant and never called him again. He got his hair cut kinda short, and I discovered a huge, fleshy hairy pink mole. It was so gross. I was like 16, and I avoided him until his hair grew back. We're married now. She hung up on me. I was 14 and had pined after her for about 8 months. I had joined the choir to get close to her. I had started playing the third king violin so that I could be in music classes with her. I was in love with her and she knew it. Okay, so I made it kind of obvious, but I was trying to work up the courage to ask her out. We were friends and in the same social group. Unfortunately it had become a bit of a standing joke. Has Dana asked her out yet? But the week before the school dance I finally grew a pair. I call her up and the call goes like this. Hi Kate, it's Danik. Oh hey. You know the dance coming up next week at school? Yeah. Well I was wondering, are you going? Yeah I think so. Would you, like to go with me? Click. She hung up on me and it broke me down. It took me a week to ever be able to speak to her again and took me years to ask another girl out. On the upside, at our 10-year school reunion she actually apologized for handling it so badly. I told her that I'd forgive her if she danced with me, and she did. TL. Doctor finally got the dance with the girl who broke my 14-year-old heart.